The Iran war has reached a chilling new milestone. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in St Petersbug, where both leaders pledged their support to each other. Fox News interpreted the meeting, where Putin said, "Last week I received a message from the Supreme Leader of Iran. I would like you to convey my most sincere words of gratitude and to confirm that Russia, like Iran, intends to continue our strategic relations." Aragchi emphasized the strength of ties between the two countries. "I was asked to confirm during this visit that Russian-Iran relations continue to be a strategic partnership at the highest level. This is the way we will move forward." Putin then laundered praise on Iran.
Мы видим, как мужественно и героически борется народ Ирана за свою независимость, за свой суверенитет. И, конечно, очень надеемся на то, что, опираясь на это мужество и стремление к независимости, иранский народ пройдет под руководством нового лидера этот сложный период испытаний и наступит мир. Со своей стороны будем делать все, что отвечает вашим интересам, отвечает интересам всех народов региона, для того, чтобы этот мир был достигнут как можно быстрее. Вы нашу позицию хорошо знаете.
This commentator praised Iran on their handling of the issue, saying Iran is playing the real 4D chess. Today, Iran's foreign minister arrived in Russia to meet Putin and strengthen ties between the two countries. A few days ago, he was in China doing the same. Both are Iran's biggest allies and America's biggest rivals. And Iran is doing all of this while rejecting direct talks with the US. Trump said Iran can call him. Iran is calling everyone except America. The meeting comes after Trump took a hard line on discussions with Iran, refusing to send delegates to Pakistan unless a resolution will be made.
If they want to talk, they can come to us or they can call us. You know, there is a telephone. We have nice secure lines, although I'm not sure any telephone line is secure, frankly. But we have secure lines, and if they want, we can talk. But we're not sending people to travel 18 hours to meet where you literally, think of this, we had a meeting for Tuesday, and it was on Saturday that I was saying, when are we meeting? Tuesday, because it's so far. So great respect for Pakistan, but I will, because they've been terrific. They've really tried, and they'll stay involved. But we're going to do it by telephone. So if they want, they can call us. But again, they know what has to be in the agreement. Very simple. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. Otherwise, there's no reason to meet.
He then doubled down on 60 Minutes, reiterating that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
They do it necessarily for violence, but probably it's not the worst thing in the world. Look, we are consequential. This is a consequential presidency. I have a great cabinet, and they do things that are very good, but some people, if they're good for us, they're not good for other people. Like, as an example, Iran, when they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They will not have. They're not going to blow up the world. They're crazy. They're not going to blow up the world. And therefore, they're not happy. And when they're not happy, people do things that are violent. Now, I'm not tracing anything back to them, but certainly if they had a shot, they'd probably take it.
But despite Iran not having a nuclear weapon, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says their handling of the Strait of Hormuz is essentially an economic nuclear weapon.
Look what they've done with the Straits. Great example. The Straits is basically the equivalent of an economic nuclear weapon that they're trying to use against the world. And they're bragging about it. They're putting up billboards in Tehran bragging about how they can hold 25% or 20% of the world's energy hostage. Imagine if those same people had access to a nuclear weapon. They would hold the whole region hostage.
But Trump has hit back at Iran's lack of urgency to resolve the issue, saying they are just days away from being economically crippled.
But what you're referring to is that when you have lines of vast amounts of oil pouring through your system, if for any reason that line is closed because you can't continue to put it into containers or ships, which has happened to them, they have no ships because of the blockade. What happens is that line explodes from within, both mechanically and in the earth. Something happens where it just explodes. And they say they only have about 3 days left before that happens. And when it explodes, you can never rebuild it the way it was. In other words, it will always be, if you rebuild it, it's hard to rebuild it all, but it would only be about 50% of what it is right now. So it's a very powerful thing that takes place, sort of having to do with nature. But when that gets clogged at the end, in other words, when you have to turn it off because you have no place to store this oil, either put it on ships or storage tanks, which they are just about finished with, a very bad thing is going to happen. So I think they're under pressure. But
the communications coming from Iran tell a very different story, with the Iranian foreign minister saying the US have requested a new round of negotiations, according to podcaster Mario Nofal.
And the latest development is Iran's foreign minister has confirmed Washington has formally requested a new round of negotiations. So that was after the negotiations apparently ended. Iran said a couple of hours ago that Washington requested a new round. So I don't know if they're playing a game of who looks better in the eyes of the public while behind the scenes they're about to make a deal, or what we're seeing unfold in public is exactly what's happening behind the scenes. The US just told Iran in front of the entire UN Security Council, that's another thing that happened as well today, that the Strait of Hormuz belongs to the world. Mike Waltz said the following: the Strait of Hormuz is not Iran's property to use as a trench or bargaining chip.